Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's so serious. Where my girls at? We linked up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down. This is your host, Gloria Mayfield Banks, and I love that part of our rhythm. Where the girls at? Where the girls at? This is so exciting, you guys. It is wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, and we're super excited. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Wonderful Wednesday. Wednesday. All day Wednesday. Wednesday all day long, Glory Mayfield Banks.
I'm so excited to be here with my friends. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me just say right off the bat, we're missing one of them. Chrisette Ellis took off for San Diego, California. She's in the sunshine, feeling fabulous, making us all jealous, talking about how she would like to have some sandals on, talking about how beautiful it is. And the other one living in Northern California, talking about I got to get a U-Haul. Everybody in Texas got to get a U-Haul. Everybody in the United States got to move someplace. There's a lot going on today, but we're excited about this show, you guys. We're excited about this show because we're going to be talking, number one, to a top performer in the real estate industry and about first and second time home buyers. So we know that either you need this information or you know somebody who likes to have this information, especially as we go into the holidays and especially as when you go into the new year, people start looking around, thinking about what they're going to do, whether they're going to move, whether they're going to upgrade, whether they're going to fix it up, what they're going to do. So I'm very excited about our guests. But before we go to our guests, you guys, okay, a couple pieces of news. First, a very incredible piece. The woman that's 113 years old just passed, the one who was dancing with the Obamas. She was, I think, 106 when she was dancing with the Obamas. And so just yesterday she passed. Just a very amazing spirit. She was a foster grandmother. She was always doing something at 113 years old, you guys. And she accomplished with her parents. So she had just a rich history. So I saw that announcement. And then I saw an announcement that was very sad about Roberta Flack has ALS at 85 years old. I know, very, very sad. And it's very interesting because there's a documentary that's getting ready to come out about her in about 2 or 3 days. Excuse me. So
Really?
you know, yeah. So she's been a major force, but they said she can't sing any longer and she's having a hard time speaking. So once again, we are reminded that tomorrow isn't promised and that we have to enjoy every single moment that we have. A lot's going on. Some more stuff's going on, but let's go on out that from the East Coast to the West Coast to see our girl, Katrina Harris Earl. What's going on, Katrina? You look beautiful. Once again, I'm on the wrong text. I'm on the wrong text.
No, you got the memo. We all are in this is hot pink. Sabrina is red. So you are right in the middle. So you got you are right in the middle. I think it's looking red, but it is hot pink. Oh my goodness. Well, my husband is still in Rhodes, y'all, in Rhodes, which is in Greece, and an island that much, that Paul visited. He's ministering and so forth. And when I tell you, if you send me some more pictures, and I told him, send me the pictures before you put them on social media, because it's beautiful. I have not been to that island. Have you been to Rhodes, Gloria?
Not that I think of. Rhodes, Greece.
Yeah. in Greece. You know, there's like hundreds of islands. It's a lot of islands, but Rhodes I mean, just when he walked in the hotel that they have him staying in, I was like, okay, you know, some trips I don't want to go. And other trips, I'm like, you should have took me to this one. So, you know, meanwhile, back at the house, it is beautiful. It's a beautiful day here, but it looked like California. I didn't check the news today. Did they get their 218? Because it looks like California delivered.
What, 217? We're at 217. One more to go.
Yeah, it looks like California's going to deliver for the red team. So I just wanted to say that. And we did a show on Michelle Obama, but can we just talk about the tour? She is everywhere, right? And every time I look up, I'm like, you want to hear the content, but the first thing you want to see is, what is that sister gonna have on when she walks out? Because
that
like,
green pantsuit
designer.
Wow. Was that wow?
Yes,
like,
that green made her legs look like 12 yards long each. I was like,
fabulous.
She don't need to be on nobody's red carpet. She just looks like dripping, just phenomenal dripping.
I just went on YouTube and put Michelle Obama and click save the library. I can't watch all the interviews, but I'm gonna look at all the outfits. Okay, I want to see what you wear on Jimmy Kimmel, what you wear on NPR, what you wear over here.
Right.
I mean, just fabulous, just fabulous.
And she flows so easily with it, like it's so effortless. I really wonder what it is. That's another show. What's going on behind the scenes for a stylist who has someone of that caliber that they have to style for? You know, all those different people, you know, you see some stylists and they lay out, you know, shoes for days and outfits for days. And you never know what that person feels like, looking like on that day. But when she stepped out there in that green, that was it. And I've always want to know if she knows what other people are going to have on, so she knows that she's the only one. You know, when she was State of the Union, she was the only one in navy blue, or only one in white. She's the only one in sleeveless. I've always wanted to know that stuff.
Yeah, like don't wear this color. Like,
and did you guys see that? I mean, a lot of her clothing now, her arms are covered, and she says, you know, it's not my goal is not the Michelle Obama arms are gone. And she said, I'm okay with that. I'm a little older now. I still work, but not like I used to work. And I'm okay with that.
You mean?
So, but right, because she said her Michelle Obama arms. And so I wonder if that's why she's covering them now, because she looks fabulous in whatever she steps out in. But the bottom line is, her message is, you got to be okay. Work with what you got, as long as you work.
Dress for your body type, all that. I mean, she's working it. And we're not talking politics here, and charisma is not the only thing that has to do with leadership. But when I tell you, watching Michelle Obama all day, and then watching the interview that Mike Pence did, I mean, you know, I sat there with my mom and I was like, this is not effortless for him. Like I felt like I was holding my breath for him. And it's something about just being able, it's so important to being genuine, and people thinking that you're genuine, and it's, you know, and you ain't lying. I mean, it just was like, whoa. Yeah. So forever First Lady.
It's interesting. It's an interesting situation that we're in, but it's so exciting to watch her bring the light the way she's bringing her light. And her message, Sabrina, that she said, that we've heard a couple of times, is whatever your body is looking like right now, why are we expected to look like she looked 12 years ago? You know, she's not supposed to look like she looked 12 years ago. However, she sure look as good as she looked 12 years ago. Licky.
Fine, as Obama said.
Did you see that when he stepped out on stage in Georgia, somebody said, you still fine? Said it to him, and she said, yep, and Michelle knows it. Y'all, we can talk forever about this. Let's go to the lady in red, Sabrina. Look, I call you Sabrina Michelle. Y'all got me talking about Michelle. I love that woman.
Well,
so
we
much.
both have braids. Braids. So yes. I mean, she's rocking those braids, right? She is rocking her braids. From the White House to everywhere on that world stage, she is rocking those braids. So, I'm excited about our guest speaker. Life is what we make it. Attitude of gratitude on this Wednesday. So much to think about, so much to be overwhelmed with. So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for girlfriends like you who lift me up, lift my family members up. I mean, that's why we do this show. Support, unconditional love, bringing guest speakers on who are so bad all day long. So Gloria, back to you. Let's talk about our guest speaker.
Yes, you guys, seriously, before we bring her on, we got to once again tell you to lean in, because what we have coming from you from the Force of Friendship is going to really blow your mind. And we're so excited to be in such strong partnership with 910 AM, the Superstation out of Detroit, Michigan. And they're asking us to do some amazing things. So you guys stay tuned and let people know that this is going to be a conversation. We've got some things coming to you that are going to change things up and ignite us at the end of this year and at the beginning of next year. So of course we're so excited to introduce our guest for today before we go to break. So could you please bring Kendra on there? So I'm so excited. Rufino, there she is. Hi, Kendra. Very excited. Look at that smile, you guys. Look at that smile. Let me just say this. I'm very excited. Callie, who's just an amazing person in my world, she introduced me to Kendra, and she said, Gloria, I think she'd be amazing on the show. So we got on the phone and we talked earlier. And you guys, I'm very excited for her to bring her energy. She's a newlywed, you guys. We're so excited she's a newlywed. So talk about the favor of relationships. I was telling her about what we're going to be doing with relationships. She was like, oh. I mean, so we know the interest is out there. She's 8 months pregnant. We're very excited. So we cannot wait to hear about all of that. I know I haven't got to nothing about real estate yet, but you know what? We love. We love on We Got Issues. So excited. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Licensed in real estate in 2016 and fluent in both English and Spanish. Associate broker Kendra Rufino is That's it, right? Good. Well-respected realtor in the state of Georgia. And her record speaks for herself, you guys. I told her to brag about herself, but I want to make sure you guys understand that she has ranked top 3 in her broker several times. And I want her to talk about that. Born in Bronx, New York, and grew up in Miami, Florida, Kendra and her family moved to Georgia in 2004 and settled in Atlanta. She attended Georgia State University with a focus in accounting. Kendra started her career in the hospitality industry and soon realized that her passion for real estate and training in customer service would serve her better. So I'm very excited. Before we go to break, Kendra, brag about yourself and let our culture know exactly how amazing you are. I would have said something. I would have said something if I knew something. Yeah, you're doing great.
Okay, you've already hit all the important points. But tell us a little bit more about your family and tell us a little bit about your journey. Yeah, so my journey, basically how I got into real estate. Okay, about my family. So I'm a first-generation American. So both of my parents are immigrants from the Dominican Republic, and they moved over here. You know, not much. You know, the whole immigrant story. Born in New York, and they've always wanted better for us. So there was a lot of trial and error with, you know, finances and knowing what works and what doesn't. So everything that I've learned has been because I put myself in the position to know. Like my parents didn't know much about home ownership and anything like that. So how I got into real estate, at 21 years old, I bought my first home. Did you? Went to 3 agents. Yes. That's big right there. Honestly, that's very big right there to be 21 and buy your own home. Yes, go ahead. Yes. I bought my first home at 21, and I went to 3 agents. It was a horrible time. I mean, hold on. The music is on. We got a break. We're going to come back. We're going to start back at bought your first home at 21 when we come right back. You guys know that we want you to call in at 778-7600, 313-778-7600 to tune into this conversation. Ask us questions, talk to Kendra. We're excited. We'll be right back. time buyer, second time buyer. And we've got Kendra, and she bought her first home at 21 years old. So go ahead, Kendra, tell us a little bit more about your journey. Yes. So can you hear me? Yes. Okay, perfect. So my journey at 21, I went to 3 agents. It was just terrible. It took me, to be honest, I bought my first home. We started looking in 2011. We actually closed in 2022. And it took me a whole year just looking and how, I mean, at this point, I know I tell my clients, hey, pick an area and focus on it. And this was the time I was looking in Covington, Laconia, Marietta, Douglas. I was everywhere. I was like, what? I'm not going to afford my little $75,000. So I didn't have a criteria. I was just saying, okay, what can I get for $75,000 in 2012? And that was my journey. It was very frustrating. And I said, okay, if these people can do it, I know I can do a better job. I'm empathetic. I actually, it was so much. It was so much. I mean, we looked at houses that were missing copper. Like, I couldn't get FHA loan. Yes. Oh, back in the day, those short sales was brutal. Wow. No copper. Yes. People were stealing the copper from the houses. People were stealing the AC units from the back. And, of course, for $75,000, those are a couple homes you're seeing back in the day. So my options was very, very limited. So I learned from that, and I was like, okay, never again will I have a client feel the way I felt. Wow. Okay, but did you say $75,000 as a down payment or for a house? For a house in Atlanta. I need to move to Atlanta. Did you find something for $75? $75,000? I sure did. In Laconia. And it was a short sale, and then I put money in it. I fixed it up, and it actually sold earlier this year for like $325,000. Wow! No way! That's amazing! That's incredible! Okay, Kendra, keep that how to do that. Because I was stuck on $75,000 for a piece of anything. Let alone turn around and sell it for $325,000. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Okay, we're going to get into the process that you fell in love with. But let me give you some statistics. The pandemic upended the U.S. housing market in March of 2020. Then it came back roaring with a vengeance that same year. And throughout 2021, people realized their current homes were no longer right for them after spending so much time in them. And, we all had some wake-up calls after spending days and days and days and days and months and months and months looking at our same dwelling. So a lot of things went in a different way. Now that 2020 is well underway, we're headed into another home buying season. So that's great for Kendra. And we thought we'd look at the trends. So generally, most first-time buyers are white, 56%.
Hispanic at 14%, then Asian and multiracial 11%, and then 9% of Blacks are the first makeup of the first-time buyers. 34% of home buyers are first-time buyers, and that's an increase from 31%. So it's very interesting. We're living in a market right now where people are going out and getting the homes. The typical age of a first-time home buyer is 33 years old. 65% of home buyers are driven primarily by the desire to own their first home. So there's some more statistics that we're going to go over. But tell us a little bit, Kendra, you started telling us a little bit about your experience and how your experience turned you into somebody who wanted to improve the experience for others.
Absolutely. Experience with my whole experience with buying my first home.
A lot of patience. It taught me that not everybody is going to be a quick sale, which, to be honest, I don't even look at it like that. I don't look at it, oh, is this person going to be a quick sale or not? I look at it as I want to help as many people achieve home ownership as possible. So what I have noticed is, one of the questions I get a lot is, hey, I'm a first-time home buyer. What is it that I need? Number one, we need to see what is your affordability. Like, is your budget $75,000? How it was back in the day with me? or is it more in line with what's going on in the current market trend? The average price point in Metro Atlanta, and of course, this is including Buckhead and it is including Metro surrounding counties, is around $450,000. Right there for the five. I know. And remember, I was looking for anything. I was like, just give me something in my budget. Wow. So, number one is we have to focus on affordability. One thing I noticed with first-time home buyers, and one thing that I really want to emphasize is, all right, first-time home buyers, yes, you're buying your first home. It is a huge investment. Don't get caught up in finding the perfect house. Do not get, like, your job, your goal is to just get your name on a title, on the deed, own something. And then turn back in 2 years when you get promoted, when your job changes, when your income changes and you're financially in a different place than you are when you first bought the home, then you can be a little bit pickier as far as, okay, what I have noticed is second-time home buyers, they're more driven by lifestyle. It's not necessarily about the money.
Equity in the first home.
They have to, they have a big down payment to put down, and they're not so focused on, hey, I just have this X amount of dollars to spend. What can I get? Once you've owned your first home, you're in another rodeo again. You're probably sitting on 6 figures of equity if you own it for a while. And now your second home, you're like, you know what? I actually want to be in a different location. I actually do want a bigger house. I actually do want this school district. I actually do. So then the mindset is different. It's not about the money. It's more so the lifestyle. Like, what would it be to live here? And that's what I've noticed. And also millennials are like that. I'm a millennial. We are driven by the lifestyle. And that's, if you think about it, most of the millennials are paying $2,000 in the luxury apartment. Right. So it's translate into a mortgage, if you think about it. Do you think that
are paying that amount, the $2,000, the $3,000? Do you think that they are geared towards homeowners? Do they want that, or are they loving staying in apartments? What's their current state right now?
Do you want home
ownership eventually? I think what's more important to millennials, and of course that's anybody that was born in, I think, 1987 to 1996 or something like that. That's the age group for millennials. It depends on their lifestyle. At the end of the day, we're more driven by lifestyle. I think millennials at this point, depending on what, you're older or more millennial, I think we're driven more so by, hey, I'd rather pay more to live how I want to live than be stuck and be miserable just because I want to save a couple bucks. Again, some can go either way. I work with a lot of professionals, and that's what I have found to be true in my world. Excellent. Interesting, right? Yeah, it's very interesting because, we see a lot of
and they're making different decisions, and the way they make decisions now is different than the way we make decisions. And family definitely does move you into a different thought process when it comes to having it. But because right now there's so much conversation about loans and school loans and how their debt has been structured in such a way that prevents them from doing things that once it wasn't prevented. I got some statistics here. It says 29% of first-time homeowners cite saving for a down payment as the most challenging part of the home buying process. 28% of first-time home buyers applied a gift or a loan from family or friends towards their down payment. So, it's interesting because millennials sometimes get tied between living with their parents or not, or living with them longer than people used to live with their parents. And now, in order to get out from living with their parents have to give them a gift so they can afford to get their first home. And a lot of it is because of their educational debt. Home buyers the age 23 to 31, 49% report student loan debt hinders their ability to even save for a home. So it's true for the 44% that are even a little bit older. They still are being hindered a lot by the debt. So when you think about what Biden's trying to do with students debt, sometimes we think about that debt, but we don't think so much about how it affects the entire economy and the entire going forward with what they're going to do if they get out of that debt. Can you talk a little bit about what those homeowners are faced with and how you can support them if debt is a problem?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I have found is that, yes, in the millennial generation, we are hindered by these student loans because, if you think about it, our parents instilled education in us. And most of us were not given a silver spoon where we had the luxury of having college paid for. We didn't, for example, I went on scholarship and I didn't get my level of college education. I don't have a PhD. I don't have a master's. And what I have found is that a lot of millennials do have those higher education degrees. Interesting. So, yeah. So I am seeing that millennials are struggling with that. Also, we have higher rent. So it is very challenging to save for a down payment. Wait a minute. That's the music. Oh, it's that music. It's coming in. You're listening to We Got Issues with Support the Friendship. We're on 9:10 a.m. the Super Station. We're talking about first time, second time home buyers with a woman who's at the top of her game and helping people do that and having incredible customer service. We're looking for your questions. We're looking for your comments. So welcome to call us at 313-778-7600. We promise you we'll be right back.
excited about what's going on here. We got issues. We are absolutely thrilled that you guys have followed us all over the world. But we're out at 9:10 a.m. the Superstation, and you're talking to the Force of Friendship. 4 girlfriends who've been together longer than 30 years, celebrating amazing relationships, amazing fun, amazing leadership, amazing information, and amazing new friends. We're welcoming Kendra into our tribe, and we're so glad that you're with us. And those of you that are on Facebook chatting away and YouTube chatting away with us, we're super, super glad. You guys got to watch us for our podcast. You can listen in and hear us talk, chat, and talk about each other all kinds of days and nights. So that's where we're having a lot of fun. So Kendra, you were talking about how we're servicing young people to get their first time buying or their second time buying. What are they looking for? You want to go ahead with that?
Yeah, we were talking about how it's tough for millennials to even save up for a down payment nowadays, like, because there's so many factors. I mean, education was instilled into us when we were growing up, so that's why we have a lot of student loans, typically on average. You add in the cost of just living, all this high rent prices. Not to mention, millennials are actually, we're waiting. Typically, we're waiting to have kids. So you will see that now and I don't have statistics in front of me, but the average age to have your first kid are now, in late 20s, early 30s versus, for example, like my mom, she had me when she was 22 years old. And I remember I'm 24, and my mom was like, all right, it's time for you to give me some grandbabies. I'm like, girl, you gonna take it? I'm like, what's going on? Like, who am I gonna have? Exactly. What's happening here? Yeah, like, what's really going on, Mom? Right? So here I am, 32 years old, having my first baby. Right. So I am seeing that people, especially the ones who are career driven, they're the ones that are waiting to have babies. So it's actually a trickling effect. Like, it's affecting not just the housing market, not just the economy, but it's affecting the population growth.
Right. Because the average age of the first-time buyer is now 33 years old. And that's a great move up. And I think it is also because of the families that are coming into play. It's a great move up. It's not the number one priority. Does someone else have a comment? Kendra?
I wanted to ask about the down payment situation. Actually, I have a couple questions. But are there still programs that will assist with the down payment? We talk about those. We heard about some of them. Did they get dried up? How does that work? Because there's a lot of people. I'm in California, so we got people that are paying $4,000 or $5,000 a month, and that is the reason that they don't have $50,000 in the bank for a down payment. So can you talk about that? Absolutely. So we do have down payment assistance options here, especially in Georgia. And I do help a lot of first-time home buyers with down payment assistance. Now, I will say this, during COVID, it kind of did dry up because the banks, they didn't know what to expect, right? They're thinking a pandemic, everything shut down. People might potentially get laid off, which a lot of people were temporarily laid off. So at the end of the day, we still look at it from the eyes of, hey, I'm a bank. I'm giving you $300,000 to buy a house. I want to make sure they're going to pay back. It's all about risk management. And at the end of the day, the reason why those loan programs, oh my God, those loan programs dried up during COVID is because they are technically high risk. I mean, you're getting into a home, you have this mortgage, and you're not putting anything down. So they did see the high risk loans temporarily, but they're back. We are seeing, especially with FHA and VA buyers, that's something that we need to talk about that. FHA and VA buyers were having the hardest time during the market in the past 18 months in COVID. I think with COVID, 2020, 2021, things were moving so fast and prices were going up. I mean, bidding wars. I had a house in Lithonia because I saw all over Metro Atlanta. I had a house in Lithonia in the market. Literally within 24 hours, I had 76 offers. My seller, yes. I needed a spreadsheet. I was like, okay, all these offers look the same. So my seller just went to a hotel because we have showings all day, like nonstop, line out the door. And it's really hard to compete with that when you are an FHA and VA buyer, unfortunately. And should I go into like what the difference is? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So okay, perfect. So there's three types of loans. There's conventional, which is like the traditional 20% down, which nowadays you can get in for 3% down if you really want to. You have to qualify for that. There's FHA, which is very, very common. That's more easier to qualify for. It is a government-backed program. They do tend to have lower interest rates depending on what time when you get in, and it's only 3.5% down. So you will see first-time home buyers getting FHA loans. There's great loan products, however, they come with some stipulations. They allow you to have a little bit more debt. So FHA is a great loan product, very, very, very popular. But there's a cap on that loan, though, right? That house. For FHA loan, you can
House at that loan, right? Is that right?
And to be honest, I might be misremembering. I don't feel comfortable answering that question right now off the top of my head, because I have sold. I FHA do have a limit. I think. I haven't sold an FHA loan in a while, and every year they raise that limit because inflation, right? So, but I think you're right. They do have a cap. I want to say. And VA loans are for veterans, which is 100% down program. All you only pay the funding fee, and that can be waived if they're disabled. So the reason why FHA and VA buyers were not winning in the past 2 years was because conventional people, the conventional loans, they were, one, it's a little restrictive. So if you look at the contract, you have a certain amount of days to get things done. And FHA is almost like
Protection for the buyer.
With
With VA, they have this.
Where if the property appraises for less than contract price, the VA will not just automatically release the appraisal report for you to just negotiate with the seller, which can be frustrating. The VA wants you to explain why you think the property is worth what we wrote the contract for. And it's like, dude, just give us the appraisal report. Like, let us handle this. So basically causes a delay of an extra week and a half or so. And sellers, if I am representing you as a seller, I'm explaining to you the difference between conventional FHA and VA. And at the time, if you're competing against multiple offers, people are way overbidding, paying the difference between appraisals, then you are going to choose the conventional because it's almost good as cash. So that's why so right now with the market going down, I'm actually excited for people who are veterans, who are using the VA loans, or people who are using down payment assistance programs with the Georgia Dream and with the CAB and all these other programs, and FHA.
It's slowing down, that there's more inventory now and less buying going on. Would you agree with that? When you say the market's slowing down, what does that mean?
Great question. So when I say the market is going down, what I mean is that it's actually more favorable for buyers. So if you think about it, a lot of buyers are like, okay, first-time home buyers, oh, well, interest rates are 6%, 7% versus last year they were 3%. Okay, well, let's look at the numbers, right? Matter of fact, I have a chart right here that I'm going to kind of read off of. So in this chart, let's say if the house is $450,000, just a number for easy math, right? That means what the interest rate being so low, let's say last year, it turns out it's over $500K. Would you agree? Because overbidding, everything was selling above the price. Right. Everything. Right. So let's say 450 is sold for $500,000 with 10% down, and let's say a 4.5% interest rate. Your payment is around $350. Now, let's say that same house today is $450. Now, we do have some occasions where houses still are selling a little bit quickly, but for the most part, they're not selling in 24 hours how it was last year. They're selling in 50 days. Sometimes it's taking 80 days on the market. So when a house is sitting on the market for a little bit longer, you do have a little bit more wiggle room. So let's say that same house listed at $450, you get it for $425. Right. You put the same 10% down, and your interest rate is 6.5%. Well, guess what? Your payment is literally $3,050. So it's almost like pick your poison. Do you rather pay less for a house and have a slightly higher interest rate, or do you rather deplete your cash because you're overbidding, you're competing against everything? Right. I mean, I've had buyers, I've had buyers put in like 18 offers in one weekend because they couldn't get anything. So if you're asking me, I kind of rather have more flexibility. And one thing I want to talk about is new construction. Now builders are giving away more incentives because they want things to get sold. So instead of, for example, I ran into a community where they're giving away $30,000 in incentives. So you can use it how you want. You can either upgrade your house, use it towards closing costs, or use it to buy down your rate. One last point that I want to bring is if the interest rates are predicted to go down in the next 2 years, let's just say, you can always refinance. But at least you're now depleting your cash, overbidding, paying appraisal gap, only to get that 4% interest rate versus now. So, or stay in an apartment when you could have had a house. Right. Okay, there's that music. Okay, dokie. We're gonna be right back because we got advertisers that want to have their little piece of the pie. So you're listening to We Got Issues, just the force of friendship coming to you with so much information, so much energy, so much delight. Kendra, we're so glad to have you here talking to us today.
Back with us because we're at 9:10 a.m. the Superstation out of Detroit, and we'll be right back to you. Time goes fast. The time goes fast when you got a topic that impacts so many people. It's a very interesting because it has changed so much. Every 12 months, 6 months, 18 months, this housing market changed. And I just love this conversation. So Sabrina, you were going to bring up something.
What about credit? Because we cash is king, but if you ain't paying for that whole thing in cash, you better have some credit. So millennials and credit, tell me about the young people, how we encourage them to understand the importance of it, and all of that. You know, when they come to you, what are you telling them about their credit right now?
Well, typically, it really depends. Credit does have a lot to do with it. It also depends on how much debt you have as well. Because you can have an 800 credit score, but if you're 50% debt to income ratio, then you can't really buy anything. So I would say for now, minimum, the SAT minimum requirement for credit score would be a 580. Obviously, the higher the better, because it's all about risk management, and you want to make sure that if your credit is at least mid 600, your interest rate won't be horrible. If you're close to 580, then your interest rate will be kind of bad. Then you're like, and that will limit how much house you can buy. Do you think the market
educating millennials on credit? Do you think they're doing a good job doing that because you're in that market where it's so important? Sabrina's point is very important, but how do they know that, you know?
At the end of the day, the way I guess I handle it is whenever I get an inquiry, and I kind of tell them, hey, I need three things. One, you're going to look for how much money you make, and how much debt you have, so credit history. Two, they're going to see, okay, do you have assets? Like, where is your down payment coming from? Or do we need to put you in a down payment assistance program? And then three, they are going to look at your credit. So at the end of the day, I see some seminars, and I think other agents do educate the public for the most part. But at the end of the day, I feel like we can only do so much. Not everybody is going to know about me. I can't reach every single person. So sometimes you gotta do some research. Like if my message has not reached everyone, then what I'm saying is we do the best we can. We're trying to reach everyone. Okay, so I have a question.
Because let's give everybody that's listening a gift. They're on the other side. They're looking for a realtor like you. What can they do to build a relationship with a realtor that would put them in the best light for the realtor to be ambitious to present them the best? Now, let's just assume all realtors want to do the best job that they can. But if I'm going to get ready to have a relationship with the realtor, I want her to think of me first. I want her to give me the best. I want her, what can they bring to the realtor so that they have a better relationship and they can get the best deal with that relationship? Because usually when you deal with the realtor, unless you're going on a referral, you don't know that person and they don't know you.
It all boils down to, number one, do your research on who you want to work with, right? So the top thing to look for in a realtor is how long they've been in the business, right? You kind of don't want to work with someone if you're the first client. I know you guys start somewhere, but I don't want to be my doctor's first patient. Right. So I definitely would encourage someone to, they're looking for a realtor, look at the experience. How many houses have they sold? It kind of irks me when other agents, they're like, oh, yeah, I've been doing this for 20 years, and that's their pitch to me. And it's like, yeah, you've been doing this for 20 years, but you've only sold 10 houses in the whole 20 years. So that doesn't, your comment is, I don't care how long you've been in the business. I've sold way more houses than you. So I would definitely look for how many houses have they sold and what area. At the end of the day, I think what we look for in a client is, do you trust us? Will you listen? That's what's more important to me. There's nothing more frustrating as a real estate professional than working with a client that will not listen to anything you're saying. It's like, come on, like, I love this. And you are not listening to me, and then you wonder how you lost your deposit? Come on now.
Wow. Right. That's interesting.
At that point, I would sever the relationship because clearly you don't trust me, and, for whatever reason. So,
okay, I have another question. I want to know what your
Advices
advice
for the
is.
first-time buyers and maybe even the second-time buyers when they're considering an existing home versus buying brand new, building a home.
Oh, okay. So I see the Atlanta where you have a lot of choices down there.
right. So I personally love new construction, and I tell my clients this, it all depends on what's more important to you. Typically, when you're buying a new construction home, they will be a little bit in the boonies, right? They're going to be in areas where it's a little underdeveloped. You have to take into consideration versus an existing home, you're going to have the Kroger and the Publix and the Whole Foods right there. Versus new construction, it's going to take you 15 minutes to get to that Publix.
Right.
So that is a personal preference, and it goes client by client. What's more important to you, the convenience of having things close, or the convenience of having a brand new house, not having to worry about the roof, the windows, the insulation? 9 times out of 10, a new construction home will be more insulated, so it does kind of make it more energy efficient. Your bills typically are lower with the new construction versus a house built in the 80s, where the insulation is not good, the windows are older. You have to budget for, all the windows are single pane versus double pane. So all that is definitely to be considered. Another thing, a lot of clients are like, hey, Kendra, I don't want a house in an HOA. Well, new construction, typically 90% of them are in a newer community, and they do have an HOA, whether you have amenities or not. So the HOA might cover the entrance, the common area. You might have a pavilion. You might have, a small little gazebo area. So that HOA pays to maintain that versus an existing home that they built in the early 90s, even late 90s. They typically might not have an HOA.
Interesting.
So every client is different. Yeah. So the American dream is still there.
Still the American dream. Do you believe that, Kendra? Of course you believe that, but talk to us about that.
Of course I believe that. I mean, I think the American dream, first of all, everybody should be owning a home, I feel like. Now, let's keep it real. Home ownership is not for everybody. It's not for everybody because at the end of the day, yes, you're paying into equity. However, you are responsible for your roof. You are responsible for maintaining the exterior. Unless, if you have a single family.
I know, girl, you're here. Okay, so it's a good idea. It's the American dream.
The roof. Okay, you got to be sure. Kendra, you've been a blessing. We're so excited that we're here. So much good information. So glad that you guys kicked in with us on Wednesday. Tomorrow, we have a phenomenal show for you. So you need to tell all your friends to clock in with We Got Issues on Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at theforceoffriendship.com. And we're so glad to be here with you at 9, 10 a.m. the Superstation. And we'll check with you tomorrow.